Good evening to our audience joining from India and around the world.
I don't find a unifying theme. It's almost always cultural, it's almost always emotional.
How radical ideologies use free speech.
A lot of people didn't know who we are. People used to ask me how we sound.
About Islam and Christianity. They have a very strong desire to do something in one lifetime because
would you say there's any sort of main takeaway?
We need a collective space of common Hindus to protect our personal space, and the current world doesn't facilitate. Nationhood USA is where I identified 3 core objectives that we want to accomplish in the next 5 years.
What you're planning for Bengal could be used for Kashmir as well.
I think people who have the fire in the belly, they need support. That's all we need.
A right-winger. And he said that more and more Hindu girls, when they will be marrying the Muslims, they are finally going to dilute the community.
We assume that the government is with us.
Every day we went to the Bal Shakha. By end of the day, everything what happened there was reported to the National Conference Committee.
And I should be seeing 50 Kashmir Pandits on this call. I should be seeing 100 Hindus on this call, especially the Gen Z.
It takes a long time to get over that.
Keeping the world informed.
Good evening to our audience joining from India and around the world. On behalf of Kashmir Discussion Forum USA, I warmly welcome all distinguished guests, community leaders, scholars, journalists, and friends joining us today. Our topic, Jammu and Kashmir narratives, nationhood and global discourse, understanding how narratives shape public opinion, policy, and national identity has become more important than ever. We are privileged to have distinguished personalities whose experience and insights bring unique value to today's discussions. First, it's my honor to welcome Dr. Shashi Kusuma, a respected scholar, author, and public intellectual known for his thoughtful analysis of India's geopolitical challenges, national security concerns, diaspora engagement, and civilization perspectives. His writings and public engagements have earned him recognition among policymakers, academics, and community leaders alike. Joining us live from New Delhi, Mr. Pradeep Datta, a senior journalist and media professional with extensive experience covering national affairs, strategic development, public policy, and issues concerning J&K. We are confident that today's conversation will provide valuable insights into how narratives shape perception of Jammu and Kashmir, both within India and internationally.
I appreciate the invitation. I am humbled by it, and I hope to impart a few thoughts that maybe are useful for you guys to think about, at least the way that I think about them, to give you a perspective. I grew up in Hyderabad in Telangana in India, schooling there, and then came to the United States as a teenager and went to college here at Emory University, studied business and biology, then did medical schooling here in Georgia, and try to tie into some activism that I'm doing currently. So let me kind of come from high level down to the ground level, operational level of how and what I'm involved in. So I have attended a tremendous number of events and discussions, and oftentimes when I attend these that are led by Hindu or Indian diaspora, I'm often left. I often leave very unsatisfied or unmotivated. I don't find a unifying theme. I don't find very rigorous articulation. I don't find global systemic think tank type of a strategic directionality that people want to go. It's almost always cultural. It's almost always emotional. It's almost always very, very much down at the ground level, a kind of a hobby for most people, at least the way it's presented. The Jewish diaspora is, I think, very much living in an existential crisis on a day-to-day basis. Let's talk about Islam and Christianity, for example. In those cases, they have a very strong desire to do something in one lifetime because their metaphysics is based on one lifetime. They are born and they die and they either go to hell or heaven. The Hindu faith is quite the opposite. Hindu faith tells you that you're cyclical. You're just a transient being. You never die. Even if the life sucks this time, it's because of whatever past, prarabdha karma, all these different things that you're born with. So you have another chance. So you don't feel the urgency in living yugas and kalpas and stuff like that. So it just doesn't resonate, whether we can articulate it in that fashion or not. But I think we imbibe it just being part of the civilization. So the motivation is just not there. For the Islamic, Christian, and the other faith systems that we constantly compare it, these Hindu forms that we gather, they have collective salvation. They can't have individual salvation. The commonality that we need to have crystal clear confidence in is the fact that for us to have this individual realization, we need the collective space to be safe. I want to reemphasize that. The way to frame that is not that we have one life metaphysics or collective salvation like they have. However, even in that individual forum of individual realization, we need a collective space of common Hindus to protect our personal space so we can pursue our individual salvation, our individual realization, or individual moksha. And the current world doesn't facilitate that. How do we operationalize this very grand metaphysics into something tangible? At the moment, I'm choosing to participate in an organization called Dharmansh USA, is where I operate today on a day-to-day basis to contribute towards a civilizational awakening. And we try to make grassroots impact to the average Hindu on the street in an Adivasi village, or the one who's getting their house demolished by the peaceful community, or whatever the case might be. At the moment seems to be West Bengal, because it's been given to us on a silver platter at the moment, because we have 5 years of space to have maximal impact. So Dharmansh took up this cause as part of our yajna, and we identified 3 core objectives that we want to accomplish in the next 5 years within West Bengal. And I'll lay them out for you. The very first one that we identified is to activate and support a Karyakarta in every single district in West Bengal. The second initiative we've taken up, we started a program called the Veer Mata program, where we went deep into the, to the rural areas of West Bengal, because that's where you can find true Hindus. And we are supporting all the matas with their pregnancy. And so since about the time they are 6 months pregnant to post 6 months pregnancy, we support them nutritionally and otherwise completely, so that every week we go in and give them what they need to have a healthy pregnancy. The third one is to establish physical prowess within the Hindu youth. So these are 3 initiatives that Dharmansh USA has undertaken specifically in West Bengal, because the dramatic shift in what's happened there in the last few weeks since the election.
In many democracies, there is growing concern about how radical ideologies use free speech and human rights. How should free societies respond to this challenge while still protecting democratic values?
Well, I don't think that's going to really change too much, because interfaith is the biggest fraud, in dialogue.
So what you've done, what you're planning for Bengal could be used for Kashmir as well, of course at a different level and with fine-tuning. Because the way we are trying to salvage Bengal now in a changed situation, it might take a little more time to do the same thing in Kashmir, because the conditions are different there. But there should be some kind of solution implanted right now for the future.
We had been listening to many of those leaders in the West also, where they start comparing the Hindutva with the Islamist radical elements. We have seen that the Hindutva had never ever been in favor of the violence, while as Islamist radical element often had been talking about jihad. How to prepare your generation for the narrative warfare, because there are people sitting in the West who are often trying to demonize one Hindutva. They are trying to demonize your security forces when it comes to Kashmir. They are trying to demonize the government of India because they try to always project and portray you in a bad light.
Some 50 years back, I was in the Bal Vihar, and the points you mentioned, some of them were part of our so-called curriculum, especially the one about the physical strength. I think I got my strength from there. But the best part was that there was a community feeling. But unfortunately, what happened was every day we went to the Bal Shakha. By end of the day, everything what happened there was reported to the National Conference Committee. I like your idea of that your group is non-political.
People who have the fire in their belly, they need support. That's all we need. I'm like Sasibai, I'm a live wire. I don't care what somebody thinks, but I'll fight because Gandhi did not give the freedom. It's the Subhash Chandra Bose who gave us the freedom. And we are coming into the era in America with the rising tension of trade. We will still feel more and more pressure. We will be called out. So if we don't prepare to fight back, then I think we'll be run over.
We have seen that how the population of the Spain has changed. The similar thing is happening in France. In UK also, we have seen that people have started talking about Sharia law. In US also, we saw that whenever something is happening related to Palestine or Gaza, the people in large number are coming out. At times it appears as if you are not in the United States of America. The scenes are from somewhere in the Middle East. What are we doing to get them on the same page and make them understand our concerns and talk about their concerns also and the problem that is confronting them so far as the demographic change is concerned?
India unfortunately already has Sharia law.
He trusted the government in 1990, that even though we had seen the writing on the wall in the 1960s when they did the land reform, they took all our lands and properties back then. There was many episodes of that in Anantnag in 1986. But to your point, we assumed that the government is with us, which was totally did happen on 19th January. Pradeepji, you mentioned about the halal and this one. I think that's a great point. If this is a KDF and I should be seeing 50 Kashmir Pandits on this call, I should be seeing 100 Hindus on this call, especially the Gen Z. I think they have no investment, they no have skin in the game about Kashmir or for India. I run a kosher rag an organization, and is kosher Kashmiri and rag means as the raga, right? I've been doing this for the last 5 years because we lost everything in Kashmir, and art and culture. We have music. I'm trying to bring more, but I didn't bring Kashmiri music. I brought who we are. You can sing about Kashmir in a Kannada song. You can sing a song about Kashmir Harmukh in a Malayalam song or a Tamil song. It doesn't matter, because the whole point of Kosher Rag was who we are, because a lot of people didn't know who we are. People used to ask me how we sound, right? I think this organization grew up a lot faster because I brought the music from north to south, east to west.
Interesting topic, another, that love jihad. Though whenever we start talking about love jihad, it raises so many tentacles. But I've been interacting with not many people. See, some people say, among the Hindus, they said there is no problem if the Hindu girls are marrying a Muslim. And see, the argument given by that person was that he's considered to be one of those right-winger. And he said that more and more Hindu girls, when they will be marrying the Muslims, they are finally going to dilute the community and their radical thought process, and the things are really going to change. But then my question to him was, what about controlling the womb, what they had been doing? Because when the Muslims are marrying the Hindu girls or the Sikh girls, the idea is basically they want to control the womb.
We have been afraid all the time when we were growing up, when we were in school. So they were, more dominant. So that's how we have lived all of our lives over there in Kashmir. So it takes a long time to get over that.
don't know if you remember the Congress or it was the city council person, Chandler Langvin. Would you say there's any sort of main takeaway or any lesson to be learned from that in regards to the Hindu community organizing together and trying to be politically astute?
There was a congressman in a town here called Palm Bay in South Florida, where he's what they call a heritage American. He had said very controversial things that all Indians need to be kicked out of America and sent back to India. I actually had a couple of dinner meetings with him privately. And what I learned from that is that, you know, Hindu people have a lot in common with the American Constitution, as a matter of fact. They have a lot in common with family. They have a lot in common with freedom, a lot in common with the pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness, etc., etc.
I extend our sincere thanks to Dr. Shashi Kusma, Mr. Pradeep Datta, as usual, for their thoughtful and valuable contributions. Thank you very much.
On behalf of Kashmir Discussion Forum USA, I thank everyone, guests in attendance, joining us from the United States, India, and around the world. And thank you, Shashi ji. Thank you, Pradeep ji. Appreciate it.